Hi, it's me, your own Granny. And once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a sweet and beautiful little princess named Snow White. Snow White's mother, the gentle queen, passed away when Snow White was just a baby. And years later, her dad, the king, married another woman. A beautiful but proud and cruel queen. And no one knew that she was, in fact, a wicked witch who owned a magical mirror. Every day, she would stand before her mirror and ask, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" And the mirror would always reply,
"You are, my queen, the fairest of them all."
But as time went on, Snow White grew up, kind and graceful, and more beautiful than anyone in the kingdom. And one morning, when the queen asked her mirror the same question, the mirror answered,
"My queen, you are fair, but Snow White is the fairest of them all."
"No!" The queen's eyes filled with jealousy and her heart turned darker than ever. She called her servant and whispered, "Take Snow White into the forest and never let her return." But the kind servant couldn't harm her. He looked at the frightened girl and said,
"Run, dear princess. Run far away and save your life."
And the Snow White ran through the deep, dark forest until she found a tiny little cottage. And inside the cottage lived 7 dwarfs. Kind and funny little men who worked in the mines all day. And they said,
"You can stay here if you help us with the housework."
And Snow White smiled and agreed, happy to have a new home. Days passed peacefully until one day the wicked queen asked her mirror again, "Oh, mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" And the mirror replied,
Snow White, my dear queen, who lives with the 7 dwarfs, is the fairest of them all.
No! And the queen was furious. She disguised herself as an old woman and made a poisoned red apple and went into the forest. And she knocked on the dwarf's door and said sweetly, "Oh, pretty girl, would you like to taste this delicious apple?" "Sure, old woman." And Snow White took the apple, smiled, and took one small bite. And in an instant, she fell to the ground, still and silent. And when the dwarfs came home, they found her laying lifeless. They wept and placed her gently in a glass coffin on a sunny hilltop. And one day a handsome prince passed by and saw Snow White sleeping inside the coffin. He said softly,
"She's the most beautiful girl I have ever seen."
And as he lifted the coffin, a small piece of the apple slipped from her mouth. And Snow White began to breathe again. And the dwarfs shouted with joy. "Yeah!" The prince smiled with tears in his eyes. Snow White opened her eyes and whispered, "Where am I?" And soon Snow White and the prince were married, and their wedding filled the kingdom with laughter and love. And as for the wicked queen, when she asked her mirror again, "Oh, mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" the mirror replied,
"Snow White, my dear queen. The new queen is the fairest of them all."
And so Snow White lived happily ever after, kind, gentle, and truly the fairest of them all. Dear kids, if you like this story, check out my bedtime magical playlist for more lovely tales. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.